Oh, are we good to go, Chris?
Sorry?
Are we good to go?
Yes,
we are very live and very happy about it. Hello guys, hello everyone. Good to see you again. So we've been on a hiatus for 1 week. I think we'll start doing these every other week instead, because now we're all into making fun videos. So I'm doing that every day. So so I want to put more time on that. Therefore, we're doing this every other week instead. How are you guys doing? 你们大家都很好吗？我自己感觉很好。I feel very good. Today, what we have in store for you is we'll talk about a few updates, and then I'll also show you some videos that I've started creating that are only in Chinese. Maybe you can actually get through them, and that will make you feel wonderful about yourself. The next thing that we'll show you is 3 Chinese slangs. We appreciate doing that. We hope you do too. And then we will, sorry, that's Chris from the control room looking at weird things. And then, last off, we will also answer your questions. The idea is that we are here, if not every week, then every other week, to answer your questions. If you have any questions about what you find in the course, you're supposed to just come up here and we'll help you out. Wonderful. So get ready for all of those questions. Type them and we'll save them. If you type them now, we'll if they're not too many, then we might be able to scroll back and answer you later on. But yeah, mind you, there is. Oh, sorry, no girls for now. Mind you, there is no. Mind you, there's no Anne actually for now. There's a few technical difficulties, we can call it. So hopefully she'll join in a bit. Now, what I wanted to share with you, first thing is Anne I wanted Anne to share that, but she's not here now, unfortunately. So Anne wanted to say that her course, which is HSK Level 4, is coming up. Whoa, it's coming up very soon. It's coming up November 15th. So you have about 20 days to go, and then you can actually study that as well. As soon as she's done launching that one, as soon as that one is launched, she'll start working on, because the HSK course that she's doing, that is solely to help her. That is solely to help you pass the test, but then she'll actually give you all the vocab that is not taught in the 20 levels of Domino. She'll teach you those in another course that is coming right after that next one that is published the 15th of November. So everything is coming, and it's very, very interesting and very exciting. Now, what I'm working on is social media a lot more. So one of the things here is, Chris, if you read, is Anne coming now? Oh no, there's someone at the door. So Chris, when you're back, can you show them that video, and I'll just give them some context to it.
Of course.
Who is this then? Oh, door is right here, so there's someone popping in every now and then. That's very, very, very exciting. Okay, so what we do is we have our Domino Chinese, but then we also have Domino English, and in Chinese we call it 多多英文. 多 from 多少, that 多. If you know that one, I think it's level 1, like lesson 5 or 6, I think. And that is then, so 多多英文 is Domino English, so teaching Chinese people English instead. It's the exact same thing, but for Chinese people. You can actually use it. We'll launch this one in January or February, and you can actually use it to not actually to learn English then obviously, but instead to maybe practice your Chinese, because you'll hear me using all the phrases that you're used to hearing me use, but now instead in Chinese, that is. So what I'm doing is that course is done, and we're sort of working with we're perfecting it and refining it a little bit. But meanwhile, I'm working on social media, and now back to that. So we have videos every week that we post. We'll be posting up to 3 videos every week. Basically me vlogging or me showing you things, but talking in Chinese. So I want to show you now a little sample of that. You can join I'll show you how to join our YouTube channel as well. We're on YouTube, we're on all the social media platforms with that one. And yeah, you can actually, what I'll do here is, yeah, you can see what's happening here now. So here, if you search for 李飞起来, but you can also search for it just like this, I think. No, you can't. Okay, well, you can't. So I'll just put that down. You need to know some Chinese to be able to find me. 李飞起来. You can also just search for Felix. You can find me there. 0 subs, no, actually 2 subs, 6 views. Excellent. We just uploaded this one. And this one here, it will play without the sound now. Actually, you can hear it from me, maybe. That's me. But I don't want to show you that one now. I want to roll another video that is coming in just a few days. Hey boys and hey girls, 你们好，大家好，中国好。我是李飞，你不认识我的话，我就跟你说一声我是李飞。今天我就想带你去看一下我每天的习惯。我希望每天能起来很早，然后起来之后就马上可以出去玩，不是玩，出去跑步。所以今天我就带你去看一下，而且我旁边这边有一个很大的森林，我带你去一下跑步。Let's go for a run, guys. 然后我有耳机了，准备听一些音乐，放给你听一下，这个非常好听，非常有动力，让我想跑步，跑得很快。瑞典语这个叫 gå ut och jogga 就是 jog， 你应该知道这个词吧？我不是最快的了。Oh, that was it. Hopefully you're able to catch some of that wonderful Chinese. Also, I mix it with English a lot because it's easier to speak like that. So that is what I do, and that was actually my apartment and what I do every day. I go out jogging every day because I enjoy it. And yeah, you got to see us on my apartments and what we do in Sweden as well. So follow that channel. I'll give you some links below as well. The description of this video will have all of the little things that you might need. And so yeah, wonderful. I actually saw a question here from Christina. What are some fun ways to insult your friends in Chinese? Anne should be here. I fear that I might be too harsh on these ones. But some that I enjoy doing, some that I enjoy saying is... actually, let me just open up a little note here so I can type for you. Here we go. Okay, so first of all, we'll just do this as a title. First of all, you can say pang. This is actually... you've learnt this character, I hope. How can I can't enlarge this for now. Hopefully this will be okay. Pang for now means fat, and you've actually learned it very early in the course, so you should all know about it. Now Chinese people all just throw out you're fat or you're not fat. That's basically if you meet someone again after a fairly lengthy period of time, then they'll always comment on the way you look. So they'll always say you're pang or you're not pang. Or like, and then they would use the le, by the way, so you'd say pang la or ni pang la or ni shou la, which would be the opposite, as in you've gotten thinner. And especially women are very offended if you say this. So I would use this back and I would just simply say this sentence. I would be like, oh, ni pang la. And then make sure that you say 开玩笑啦. And this might be sensitive to some women. Say it then instead to men. Make sure you say it to men. And if they hear it from a Westerner, I'm sure that they'll be very shocked and they'll be like, oh, is he joking or is he just a part of our culture? Either way, it's fun. You can insult them like that. I hope you enjoyed that one. Also, some of my Chinese friends and Chinese people tend to be very, well, not very, but fairly short. Not at least this height. So what I would say then instead is when they walk slowly. One of my friends, she is Chinese, and I think she walks slowly. So I say 你的腿很短. 你的腿很短. So 腿 means this thing here. 腿 is your leg, and 短 means 高 or 长 is, or I guess 长 is long, but 短 is very short simply. So 你的腿很短. I can actually write there 你的腿很短. Like that. 你的腿很短. You're not getting any tones, but those are two different ways you can insult Chinese people in. So it would either be 你胖了. But then make sure that you say 开玩笑, which is joking. I'll just give you the opinion as well. 你胖了. 开玩笑了. Wonderful. If you don't know 开玩笑 yet, you'll learn it later on. It'll make a lot of sense what the characters are in it. I hope you enjoyed that answer a lot, Christina. Now, let's move on to actually... we'll save the questions for later. Chris, interrupt me if I'm missing any questions that are related to what we're doing right now. Otherwise, I want to get started with this. So usually, you can say 美女 for women, or you can say 小姐, and that's a bit older if you're referring to women. Now, 姑娘 is simply another term to refer to this by. So 姑娘 would just be a lady or a girl simply. You can use this one instead, and this is fairly formal, so this is not the slang. However, from this word 姑娘, you have the word 娘. Sorry, you don't have the pinyin here, but that's simply 娘 with a second tone, and 娘, N-I-A-N-G. It's a fairly unique pinyin, fairly unique pronunciation, which makes it easy to remember. So now if you see someone who's really feminine, that walks around like this. Ooh. Then you simply call them, oh, 很娘, 很娘, 很娘. You take this 娘 from the 姑娘. Wonderful. And so that's how you can come up with a fairly or very, very slangy expression. And this one is thrown around on internet a lot nowadays. If you don't mind, I'm checking out the comment section as well. If you don't mind, you can maybe add some of your own contributions and find something with nyang or gunyang, but gunyang is not slang. We'll come back to that one if you write some. I'm keeping my eye on you guys. Now, if you have any questions, if you didn't understand that, let me know. Or if you feel offended, I know that feminists in Sweden would feel offended if I said, "Oh, he's very nyang." Now, moving on to the next one. Now, this one is quite a difficult one, but it's only difficult because one character is difficult. Just like how in the last expression, this one, the nyang, that was one character. However, that character is fairly difficult. So this here is du. Du means actually drugs. So you can imagine, the sound from du, from the Chinese word du, and drugs are quite similar. Du, if we skip the R on drugs, it's du, dugs, and du in Chinese. I think that's fairly similar, and we can help each other remember that way. And also, what we have now is we have you du, so it has drugs, so it's basically poisonous. Now you can just say this about anything. You can say that your computer has du, and that just means it's not poisonous, but it has a virus basically. There's something like a malware, malfunction or something. But what you can also say about it is something addictive. So you can say this game or this song or anything, because du sort of implies that it's bad. Anything addictive is quite bad for you, isn't it? So it's more used, less so than like just smoking and being addictive like this, but more like, you get it, like something, like a song being played too much. Like a few years ago, you had the song 小苹果. Was it 小苹果, Chris?
Yep.
It was 小苹果, yeah, I'm not wrong. I've been trying to forget that, but now I made myself remember it again. 小苹果. And that was a terrible song, or maybe some Chinese people or some of you loved it, so I won't utter my opinion about that. Anyways, and that song would be called 有毒. Oh, 这首歌很有毒, like that. Wonderful. Does that make sense, guys? Christina's already heard nyang, de, you can also say. Perfect. Any adjective, you just put de at the end, and that makes it fantastic as well. Just like when you walk into a restaurant, you say 不要辣, or you can say 不要辣的. That is also perfect, just like Christina did. Who's eating? He? Maybe? Is he eating cookies, Chris asked. Maybe, because I guess they're yodu. They are addictive. This du is super good. It has to do with drugs, and so it's obviously a bad word, but it's one that you should look out for. And as soon as you see it, just make sure you walk away from there.
And you're checking YouTube, right?
I'm checking YouTube very much. Yeah, we have some questions, but I'll get back to those. Third but not least, now we have a picture of me. I'm not going to teach you how to say narcissistic. I'm simply going to teach you 不要不要的. And this is actually one that I have not used on my own, and I was hoping that the technical difficulty girl, Anne, would be here to explain this to you. I've heard it being used, so I'll do my best at explaining it back to you. You can basically look at the example. It means very well. So 不要不要. You don't want it. Oh, it's okay. It's not so good. It's not so bad. It's okay. Very well then. I'll go ahead and do it. Now the example here, for instance, is 他好看的. Sorry, it's the wrong de here. If you're advanced enough, you would have noticed that this is the wrong de. 他好看的. So basically describing, we want it to be the de that describes adverbs. That little de from like 你说得快, that de. So what we say then is 他好看的, and then this de explains or describes how good looking he is. So he's good looking. Basically, in English we can translate it to saying to the point of. 他好看的, actually it's a she in this case, so it doesn't apply to the picture, but you get the point. 他好看的, 不要不要的, 不要不要的. You can also say if something. Let me know if you have any examples or any questions about that. I'll give you some more examples while I'm waiting for you to write something. Yeah, good, Greg. You got the right de. There's many different de. There's 3 de in Chinese, and they're all very useful. I'll break it down in like level 10 or something. We can also say if we eat something, you can say 这个好吃. 这个好吃, but then we can also describe the 好吃ness, so the deliciousness, by saying 这个好吃的不要不要的，这个好吃的不要不要的, something like that. That sounds wonderful. When Anne comes here, she'll probably comment some and she'll go, this example is much better, Felix, but I like that example. Wonderful. Now, I'll take a pause from speaking and read some of your comments. Meanwhile, you guys can think about, let me go through these again. There's the Nyang, and these are all, that one is a new character, the next one is also a new character. The last expression had 不要不要的, which is very simple for you to understand, hopefully. Just how to use it is fairly complex. So, first of all, we had, this is very feminine, Nyang, 很娘, 很娘, 很娘. And then we have it 有毒, then we have 有毒, and that means something being adjective. You can say that as well. And remember, all of these are very street slang words, slangy expressions. 它好看的要不要的, 不要不要的, 它好看的不要不要的. Wonderful. And now it's time for you. Hopefully you've had enough time to think of some examples. Or not. Or not at all. Or not at all. I've seen you've posted some questions, and therefore I think it's good that we move on to... yes, oh sorry, that was not the end. This is the last one. Question time. I think this is one of the most important things that we do here, so that you feel like you're a part of the community. This is definitely where you can post all your questions. You can collect questions for an entire week or two sometimes when I'm not active every week, and then you can just ask them here. That is the best way to, well, get fast answers, I think, if you don't mind waiting until every Wednesday. Okay. If you have any questions, if you don't have any, I have some that I want to read up, and some that might apply to you and what you're doing. Now is actually time for me to read here. Please, there's nothing to hide anymore. Okay, Greg White asks, Felix, are there any workbooks to consolidate the knowledge while following this course? Yes, we have a course book. I can go to Domino Chinese. There is a course book here. However, it's not pretty, but it's functional. It's very practical. It just says course book here. I would definitely recommend you, Greg White, and everyone else listening, to download this one. I've spent many, many hours creating this book. So when you download it, it's quite big. So it opens up in a new tab, then you download it. We are working right now. Our next steps with Domino is to go into, we're actually training teachers now with one of my friends and partners, Jonathan. Hopefully he'll join us in some not in some podcasts, but in some live streams later on down the line. And he'll tell us more about it. But basically, what I'm trying to say is we have Domino teachers soon. And because we have that, we need to have material to work with together with the teachers. Therefore, we've created this course book, but also this also works for you. However, for the teachers and for the schools and for the companies that we're going into, also the one-on-one students like you as well, probably, we are going to illustrate these books. We're going to give them pictures. We're going to make them look a lot better. But this is a goal that we're working towards. Hopefully, within a few months, the course book will look wonderful as well. But that's enough for now. And for now, it just looks like this, and it's 100% functional. It's not pretty, it's functional. Okay. Okay. And as to the HSK, because many of you might want to pass the HSK, and all I can tell you about this is there are books and we will recommend them. We'll probably even put links, but we need to finish the courses first. We could put links, I guess, for HSK Level 3, but that's all up to Anne, and I want to give her time to focus on HSK Level 4. We can do like this. Once a course is up, HSK Level 3 for instance, then we'll give you all the resources that you need if you want to buy any additional books or anything like that. If that's what we recommend, we'll put some links and everything will be here on this page, which is resources, study material. Wonderful. Okay. Hey Felix, hey Alan. Thanks, I finally got it. Who tests my work? Who tests my work? I think you need to specify that a little bit, Benny. But that's it with that one. And I've also shown you this one. Very exciting to show you that one, actually. Let's come back here. So what we've done today, so far, is... let's go all the way back. Oh, okay, episode 4. what we did was, first of all, I told you when our next course is coming up, because we're getting so much support from you guys, we're able to we'll convert that out into pushing more courses. So we're able to actually pay Anne so that we can justify having her work on an HSK course. So the next one is coming up November 15th, and then the next one after that probably a month later or two, if it takes that long. And then we also have a vlog, or I've started a vlog basically where I speak a lot in Chinese. I told you to follow me there if you want to practice some Chinese. I think it's a good, fun thing to do now. You don't have to understand everything. There's subtitles both in Chinese and English, by the way. And then moved on to some slang. Hopefully you find all of this wonderful. And then some questions. Some telling you about the course book and what we do with the HSK courses and so on and so on. What workbooks would you personally recommend? Well, I think you don't need to spend. We have a lot of resources already on our platform. So if you're looking to study with something else, I wouldn't really recommend that. For HSK, I would recommend that. But just to study Chinese in general, we have more than enough content. So you don't have to focus on getting more content. You just have to concentrate on what you have and consolidate what you have. Because the course on its own is definitely enough, and then also supplement that with the course book, and you're definitely good to go. But the HSK course, I personally, this is probably what you're asking about. I personally don't have an opinion about this as of now. I've never actually studied for the HSK. I don't think it's that necessary. You want to speak Chinese, so you don't learn that through the HSK. But I understand you still want an answer to your question, and therefore I won't give you one. I'll instead, we'll post, maybe you've noticed that we have these little things. On our website we have this one. So here is where we put notes every day or every week or so. We'll put some here. Whenever we have something, you'll see it here. It'll pop up and we'll say, look, we have some new material for you now. So I'll promise to put it there, and I will refrain from giving you an answer on that question for now. Wonderful. I download Chinese kindergarten worksheet. Also, guys, one thing that I'm really proud of is, Benny just reminded me, here, worksheets. These are worksheets so you can actually practice. This is the most recent acquisition or addition we have to our resource page, one that I'm very happy about. So you can trace every character now. You can start practicing writing them. That's really important as well. Not only if you want to write them in the future, but to help your muscle memory remember it. And next time you see it, you'll be like, oh, I've written that character a few times. I definitely know it by now. I don't practice writing so much, and that definitely shows when I start forgetting strokes in a character, and I go, oh, Felix, you're silly. I'm so silly. Okay, wonderful. So yeah, Greg, I think both you and I are on the same accord, we're in accordance with how you should approach Chinese. Approach it with learning it first and then passing the tests. And that's what Domino does. Wonderful. Chris?
Yeah.
That was just a rhetorical break. Any questions from there? Anything you think I missed?
No, nothing in particular. I think it's interesting to see how you use the site. Maybe you could go through a few of the functions that people may not know, right?
Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense, yeah. Like what functions, you mean?
Well, maybe you could show some statistics as well. But I mean, I was just thinking in general, the user page and some data that you can get and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can show you that data again. I think you guys might think that is quite interesting. I showed you that a few weeks ago. I don't remember where we were at then. We are definitely growing though, thanks to mostly you guys, hopefully spreading. I guess you guys must be spreading the word a lot, because currently we're not doing too many campaigns online. So this is wonderful. If we go to, and by the way, if you go to your profile, you can upload a picture here, and then if you go to About Us, you have top contributors, and this is something I showed you before, but it's worth showing you again. Your picture will pop up here if you have contributed to something in particular, which we would love if you did, or if you just pay more than $12 a month, then you're an ambassador, we call it, and we are very thankful for your contribution. You can also help us grow this page. We talked about this last time, so I don't want to cover it too much, but let's get into stats now. This check progress, there's been a lot of talk about that. We will probably just change it to course instead, because this is one of the most important. This button helps you get to the overview of everything. This is where we get everything. One thing that I've completely forgotten to mention is there's like 3 courses here, and I want to add more courses. Let me know if you have any suggestions on what courses you'd like me to add. What I'm thinking here is 2 courses that could be not at all as long, just like the HSK course, fairly short and complementary to the original Domino course. What I'm thinking is slang, and I'm also thinking pronunciation. Because pronunciation, I have my own philosophy about it. You can never master pronunciation in just a week. It takes a year, and it follows you and your learning process. And when you're done learning, then you're done with the pronunciation. Then you will sound perfect as well. I can tell you, I've never met anyone who doesn't speak Chinese fluently and who sounds terrible. As soon as you speak it fluently, you will sound good as well. That is my philosophy, and one that I stick to sternly. So therefore, I don't go into depth with pronunciation a lot in the course, and therefore, maybe if you notice that it's all very individual, obviously. So if you notice that, oh, I struggle with this pronunciation, then you can just skip to that part of the course and go to that course.
Now I'm talking here, no one can hear it. But
it's fine. Chris is talking again.
One of the things that I was thinking is that I learned pretty early is, the difference between
Chris learned.
And sure,
yeah.
And all of those really fine differences. That's something we could make a quick video about, because it's actually
we could. It is very simple. For instance, the difference between sh and zh and ch, so sh, ch, and zh. The difference there is probably one of the first things that I'd pick up on in my pronunciation course. That's one of the most important ones that you guys, or that students, me included, have and will get wrong a lot. We can go through that at some other point. Let me know if you think that would be interesting. We have HSK Prep here as well now. Wonderful. Okay, now I want to show you stats. Sorry, I'm dwelling on this, and now we're actually ready for it. Stats. I don't remember where we were at last time, but you can see, I think last time was about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? So from the 24th, that would be the 10th. The 10th would be somewhere here. And again, we're doing this because we want to be transparent. You're paying money for this, and we want you to understand where your money is going. So 871 subscribers from that day. Every day here we gain a little bit, and today it just updated, so yeah, 914. So we've gone up with about 40 new subscribers since last time, which we're super excited about. And remember, if we grow, you can also grow. And then what we can do here is, you can see all of our customers, like how many registered users we have in total as well. But this is something interesting as well. Chris, do you have a profile here?
Yeah.
Let's go for that one. So this is actually Chris's personal profile. He doesn't have a picture, bad student. You can see where he's subscribed and current plan, not a lot of renminbi a month. And he's finished watching 190 videos. And also, you have how much he has studied over which period. So hopefully he studied some. Let's go over the last year. He might have studied some. Let's go for that. Yes, and he has actually finished 25th of May 2018, he finished watching 190 videos and he mastered 12 lessons. He's a genius.
Yeah, it's because the past stuff doesn't count, right?
Oh, so the past stuff counted towards that instead, and so that all took a moment for him to finish. But yeah, anyway, so we can follow you here, and the idea here is also, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, that we want to put all of this on on your personal stat page as well. So you can actually follow it as well. So that would be wonderful. And along with that, you can, because you can trace it, and other people can follow you, and so on. So we can really build the community around that, where we can say, oh, you've done this much, and then you have a student who's done this much, and you can maybe help each other. Or if you're at a higher level, lower level, you can help each other like that as well. Okay, Chris, do you think I missed something?
No, I don't think so, but I think the pronunciation stuff is something a lot of people are talking about, and that's something we can help with.
Must be explained earlier, all those sh. Okay, yeah. I can do a quick one, SH, ZH, and CH, because I think I'm good at that. I can do it now, but we'll also do it exclusively for the course later on. Let me know again, guys. You just need to say, yes, that's a good idea, if you think it's a good idea. Okay. And again, I don't want to focus too much on pronunciation. You know my philosophy behind that. I don't really need to repeat myself, but obviously it's important to learn. Okay, so if we start with just S, we can skip the H to start with. So we start with an S, Z, and C, and that's the order that we're going through them in. I should do like this so it looks, because it's mirrored otherwise to you. Okay, so S would just be S, and Z would be Z. So it's almost like you're making a little noise, almost like a B is there. And what I think of it is like S is in your mouth, S, and Z is Z. It's on the tip of your tongue here, so you almost go through your teeth here. It almost goes through your teeth, so you go Z, and I think you can make that noise. And then C is when you crack through. C is when you have to open your mouth and you have to almost spit, so C. You can see the difference there. You can almost spell it like TS, so C. None of the other sounds have a T, like Z doesn't, but it almost has it. If we go back all the way to S, it doesn't have it at all. So it's S, and then Z, you can almost think of it, see it like an invisible little T coming towards you there, and then it's C, you actually pronounce it out. So S, Z, C. Now you actually spit it out almost.
The Z as a D and then an S.
A D and an S. Yeah, so yeah, that's actually quite good as well. So the first one would be Z, D and, or S, or D and Z. Z, S, S, Z, and T. And this is where you spit out. So I just think of it like a gradual part where here you don't spit, here you almost spit, or you vibrate instead, and here you spit it out because you've cracked open your mouth. Wonderful. And if you can master that, you're actually good to go, because now we just need to add a sh sound, which makes it deeper down into the mouth. So now we add an H. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Okay, yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. Otherwise, I'll just continue with the H. So what we have is S turns into H, which would be sh. So S, sh. You see here, I'm still here, and there's no T involved at all. But now I'm moving on to the Z, and that would then be Z, but then with an H, it would just be deeper sounding, but still with a Z. So J. That's a sound that we don't have in many other languages. I've never encountered it before. So again, sh and J. And then the last one, which you'll see in, for instance, in to eat, is fairly, very, very common actually. And that is now, again, we're going to crack open the mouth, and we're going to I imagine spitting as well, but we don't have to spit every time we say this one. So, again, I'll go from the start. Sh, and here is ch. I made it with a different tone just to make it even more obvious. So, without H, and then with H, S, Z, C. And then we have sh, j, ch, like that. I think that makes sense. I hope it does. Wonderful. That's it. I think I think I'm done with that, Chris. Do you think I made an excellent breakdown of the S,
I
Z,
think it was
C?
the best.
He thinks it was the best. Then it must have been the best. Wonderful. Good. Let us keep going with questions. And I'm sorry if I miss some now. If I miss some, we'll answer them. We'll make sure we answer them in the next one. We'll make sure you come back and show up to our next live stream, and then we'll answer them then instead. Wonderful. Sorry to hear that Anne had technical difficulties. Hopefully you can bear with just one annoying Swede for now. Next week, actually in 2 weeks, it'll be much better. Again, one more thing. We are doing this every other week now instead. Wonderful. Chris? Any last wise words? Can you hear me?
They both follow the same, and Q and...
We're going through Q as well.
Yeah, Q and all of them kind of follow this pattern. They follow the... Think of it as anything with an S inside it just has a S. It's clean, and then if it's C, it's always S. It's like a T in front of it, and a Z is always with a D in front of it. But even if you don't try, you don't have to say, you can say Z, with a D, pronounced D in front of it, and most people will understand, everyone in China will understand you. You can actually have the same S afterwards. You don't even need to think about that. It's more what happens in the very beginning. And SH and ZH and CH is the same. And interestingly enough, Q is the same too, and a lot of the other kind of follow this pattern of just understanding that how to attack the vowel. Like Q is always with a T. Ch. Ch. There's a little silent T in front of it, or actually quite pronounced. So by doing that, I think we could pretty much, because these are the really hard ones. The tones, you don't have to worry about tones. And I'm going to say that lightly, because obviously you do have to worry about it. But they're not, it's not that bad.
Not at all. No, not at all.
They come, what I mean with that is, what is important is that you talk to people. And after a while, when listening and talking is going to teach you tones very naturally. And most times, like if you take ma, right, which has quite a few different tones, in most cases the meanings are radically different. We're talking about the ending of a sentence, we're talking about mother, or we're talking about horse. Quite often in Chinese, they're very different words that have similar, that have different intonations. So it's going to be clear from the context, even if you say the wrong thing, for most Chinese people, what you're talking about.
Tones aren't to be worried about too much, I don't think. Pronunciation, however, is a quite a different thing, yes.
Yeah, if you get the wrong tone and the wrong pronunciation of zh, then you're going to say, definitely, people are going to be confused.
You want to kill my mother?
Yes, that's something.
Oh, please don't. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Again, let us know if you think all of these are good ideas with the pronunciation course and the slang course and whatever you might think would be a good idea. Let us know and we'll work with that. Because basically you're our employer, or employer. You give us your money and we wouldn't have this without you. So you are definitely in charge of what we'll be talking about. Wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm going to run back.
Run quickly so I don't have to sit like this staringly into the camera.
I'll draw that goodbye.
Yeah, I'll do something funny, but now my head will be cut off like that. Bye bye, half of my forehead and then the rest of my body. Bye bye, guys. See you next week. Thank you very much for watching.